What's up guys, so I'm back with another video and we are going to continue with a series of cues that I have been giving, my personal cues that I use for big lifts. Today we are going to talk about the bench press. It's everyone's favorite movement and a lot of them do it wrong, so today let us use some cue points with your head and kind of your neck sticking out, and then you need to firmly plant your feet. Now it depends upon whether you're doing it simply for the gym or powerlifting, and if you're doing it for powerlifting you'll have to see whether your federation allows your heels to be on the ground or does it allow the toes to be planted. So once you plant your feet perfectly, you need to roll into position to set up an arch. Now don't over exaggerate the arch because the powerlifters do it to increase the amount of weight that they lift by turning it into a slight decline and minimizing the range of motion. Now that is the first cue point. Just make sure that your leg is firmly dug into the ground, because half the people don't know what is the use of leg drive during the bench press. You see them flopping around with their legs, not being stable. The legs are very important during the bench press. There is going to be a 3-touch rule when you're doing the bench press. The 3 touches will be: first point of touch will be your legs on the ground, your toes on the ground. Second point of touch, your butt on the bench. Third point of touch, your traps dug into the bench. These are the 3 points that will be touching, completing the kinetic chain. Now your butt has to be dug into the bench so that it does not rise off, because that is going to injure you and that is a no lift. So when your feet are firmly planted against the ground is when you start using leg drive, right? You need to, now I need you to imagine that you're doing a leg extension against the ground, right? You're not pushing into the ground, you're doing a leg extension against the ground, right? That is going to maximize your leg drive. Now you need to dig your traps into the bench, that is the second cue, and retract your shoulders. Your scapula should be retracted while benching. Only then will you form a good enough shelf to handle that bar from. Now it is time to unrack the bar. There are 2 major things that you need to keep in mind. Number 1, it is during the unracking of heavy weight that people lose tightness in their scapula and the retraction of that scapula. So you just need to make sure that you need to not raise the bar or push against the bar when unracking the bar. You need to just pull it out of the J hooks, right? So if you're going for a heavy bench, make someone hand the bar to you, right? Take help in the handover so that you don't lose that tightness. And the second method that you can use is you can take your butt off the bench, right? Unrack the bar and then put it back down. That will help you in not losing tightness, right? It is up to you, but I generally take a big breath before unracking the bar. It just feels stronger, right? Another thing which is there in all big lifts, you need to grip the bar as tightly as possible. That is for every lift. Grip the bar as tightly as possible. When you unrack it, again you need to focus upon bending the bar so that your retraction of the scapula is still tight, right? I generally grip the bar just outside shoulder width. I am a tricep dominant bencher. You can grip it according to how you want. Just don't grip it too far wide because it taxes your shoulders. Next, when your bar has been racked and you're in a comfortable position, set up tight. Again, draw a big breath, fill your belly up with air, right? And then is when you begin the descent. Now, a slight form check. You're not gonna bench high up on your chest because it's too taxing on your shoulders and it flares your elbows. You'll make sure that you're benching lower down on your chest. It has to be below nipple line. It can be as low as the sternum as well. What does that do? It automatically tucks in your elbows, right? Because when you're raising that bar from your chest, because when you're raising that bar from your chest, there will be a point of time, if the weight is heavy enough, that your body will run out of steam mid lift. That is when, to gather more speed, your elbows flare out. But if you've already flared them out, it is very difficult for them to go anywhere, and then you're kind of pinned under the weight. And there is nothing as horrific inside the weight room as being pinned under a heavy bar, right? So make sure that you keep your elbows tucked in till they are required to flare out to gather your momentum to complete the lift, right? I would not recommend you bouncing the bar off your chest. Also not recommend you to doing half reps. You need to touch your chest. Even if it's a touch and go, it's fine, but you need to touch your chest. If you're doing a pause bench, you will have to push from your legs for the leg drive. So your legs are all tight. You need to give a slight dig into the legs. It will transfer up and help you pushing it off from your chest. Now that is for a meet legal bench, but your feet don't have to move. They cannot move, or it's a no lift. You need to also make sure that you completely lock it out, right? And then repeat it for whatever reps. Don't get your butt off the bench. Don't flip flop with your legs, right? Stay tight. Don't bleed energy.